weird, depending on where you're watching this. I just threw my shit down and I was like, I'll organize it when I sit down. So, I know it is another late night stream for us, night owls, and for anyone who rewatches it any time of the day. I'm drinking raspberry green tea, Crystal Light. So, that's what my drink of the night is. I have my awesome Batman and the Joker bottle. So I actually, the last thing I did at this very desk that I'm sitting at is I did a tarot workshop, and this is a service that my old slash current IOP does. And one of the workshops they had was in tarot, and I love tarot, and I've kind of fallen out of it, so I picked up my deck. Hey, Roberta, welcome in. So I picked up my deck, gave myself a little reading, burned some rosemary and sage, and I also burned some Palo Santo. And then, yeah, I gave myself a little reading. That was very lovely. Gave myself a little dousing of Florida water, which is mostly alcohol. It just kind of is a good kind of ritualistic kind of thing that I like to do. Feels like it's starting a new slate. It kind of smells like watered down Listerine, if I'm being honest. But also it has some like herby spiciness to it. So if you don't know what Florida water is and you do practice any kind of witchery, Florida water is available at most places that sell witchery type things, and it's just a nice little thing to add to your collection. It's called a cologne. I think that's just because it's wet and it smells, but it smells really good. I mean, I don't, even when I'm not doing like a reading or something like that, I'll just squeeze like 2 drops into my hand, just kind of rub my hands together and just kind of throw like negative energy away. I don't know. It just feels really nice. Dries up really quickly. Your hands are nice and dry. Doesn't make your crochet project smell like anything because it's actually super, super light. That smell will go away very quickly. So I am still working on my bat mittens because I've been doing a lot today. My head's been in a million different places. I'm trying to decide or figure out, I guess is a better way to put it, if I'm manic or not. It's always hard coming from a down place when you start to feel better. It can be like, oh, yay, like this is great. I have motivation. I have like energy to do anything. And it's really easy to tip the scales over into hypomania or mania. Hypomania doesn't mean that it's any necessarily less severe than mania, than actions you would do when you were manic. Hypomania usually just implies the duration of the emotion. And so, because I rapid cycle, most of what I do is considered hypomania when I have those thoughts and feelings. Although sometimes I do peak into mania, and that's when shit turns up to 11. It's definitely more intense, but it's not like so far of a leap as it is from normal, like baseline to hypomania. So, working on my bat mittens. If you haven't seen them yet, I think you have, Roberta, so I'm going to be showing you again. So these are my bat mittens. So I just made a mitten using the knit stitch, and then I put a bat wing applique on the mitten itself. So when I have 2 mittens, it'll look like 2 little bat wings next to each other. So I'm making a matching mitten now, which I already started progress on. Please tell me how I do. Okay, great. So we're gonna be doing this. So I don't know if you subscribe to my other channel, but I unveiled the next challenge that I have for myself. which is the blank, but make it Halloween challenge that I'm doing. And oh man, that was a slip knot. I was like, this doesn't look like a knit stitch, and it's because it wasn't. It was a slip knot. So what I got for the second day of it was red and green. Like that was like one uh, um, thing that I pulled from my little cauldron, my Christmas cauldron. Because you have to have a cauldron for every season. And then I have my Halloween cauldron. And so what I pulled out of this was full moon or moon. So I have a couple ideas. Some involve painting. One involves trying to make a doll on my AliExpress, which we've talked about this. I'm not really sure the AliExpress or any knitting machine for that. Uh, uh, I've been really struggling with words. Hey, Zach, welcome in. Um, I don't know if any knitting machine is for me, but um, I'm gonna give it another go and try to see if I can maybe make a Santa doll out of that. So we'll see how well that goes. So Roberta, I feel like you posted something in Army of Weirdos today of what you were making. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did you see? No, I did not see your blanket. Okay, so Winter is making a coffin bag, which looks amazing. I already saw their like green and black one, and that looks amazing. Okay, maybe you didn't post today. I thought you did, but I don't know. Oh, you did send me a little chat thing, and I didn't see your blanket, Zach. So I'm actually gonna drop the link. If you'd like to come up, you're welcome to. Roberta, I know you don't tend to like to come up, but if you wanted to, you're welcome to. And then Zach, you're always welcome up on my channel. The friends are for. It was on Messenger. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. So anyone is welcome to come up if they want to come up. It looks like it looks exactly like what I did, what you sent to me. I don't know if I even like replied. You just posted to Army of Weirdos group. Okay. Let's see. My phone's dying. I'm not close to my charger, so I'm just trying to Zach, that is beautiful. Those colors are insane. What yarn are you using? That is beautiful. I love those colors together. Wow. I'm always so inspired by you all. Okay, Roberta, take your time. I'll be here for a while, I think. Just gonna work on this mitten. And I think I'm gonna keep these mittens for myself because I kind of tailor-made them to fit my hands specifically. And they're kind of shaped a little weird. I could have done less decreases than I did, but if you look at like how, like not including my thumb, like how like wide my hand gets, so I guess like it goes to right here, and then the thickness that kind of stays the same, so it's a little bit wide there. But when my fingers come together, if I keep up that same width where my pinky cuts off, I have so much room in the tips of my fingers, and I like mittens that are functional. I hate when there's just too much. Turquoise and mint. Oh, Craft Smart. Oh, looks amazing. That is great. I'm so happy to hear that you found a project that you're feeling super great about. Yeah, it looks great. Is that a single crochet, or did you try to sneak a different stitch in there? Tell me all about it. Yeah, it's really, really beautiful. You're doing a great job, Zach. Keep it up. Keep up the good work. And when in doubt, start another whip. Double crochet. Oh, nice. Yeah, I was thinking originally it was single crochet, and I was like, wow, that's gonna take a really long time. Double crochet will literally cut your time in half, so because it's twice as tall, pretty much, right? So I'm doing the knit stitch, which is actually a variation of single crochet, so it does take me longer to do it, but I get a nice thick knit that does basically no stretch. Do not be ashamed to admit that. Something that's totally valid. We all have are constantly pushing ourselves to go farther. And I know that like kind of getting the ball, I don't know, I hope this sounds the way I want it to sound. I know getting the ball rolling to find a project you were passionate about was really difficult. So the fact that you're passionate about this project says exactly what you needed to say. You just had to find something you were super passionate about. That's all it is. Yeah. I don't even I would never make it that far in a blanket. Like I'm telling you right now, I would never make it that far in a blanket. Fucking pass. If I'm talking weird or I keep on like putting my tongue up in my piercing, so my piercing has fallen out. The jewel of my piercing has fallen out twice today. It just like piercings generally loosen over time, especially when you play with them a lot, like I do. And then, so it fell out today after I did a video, and I did a little video because I'm actually getting into life coaching, and I just wanted to kind of introduce myself. So I did a little quick video, and I had the piercing in, and I filmed it outside because, like, obviously I'm not gonna film it right here and be like, "Let me help you organize your life." but but then I came in and I was like doing building my portfolio on my scarves take so long. They're so deceptively long. I don't make scarves as a result. Um, I make cowls and things like that. Those are so much faster. I mean, and they just like it looks like you did a lot more when you did actually less than making a scarf, I think. Yeah, so getting into life coaching. So I was like doodling around on my computer, building up my portfolio, kind of writing about what I want to help people with life coaching. And then I was like playing with my lip piercing, my upper lip piercing, like I do. And I was like, hey, there's no jewel there. So I literally was like, shit, 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 shit. I looked all around here, which like, there's so much dog hair on this guy. And then I was like, on timeout for 3 years. You're doing just fine. Yeah, exactly. So then I was like, I'm gonna retrace my steps, and then I was like, what if it just fell out like right after I did that video? What if I like adjusted my face like while I was doing the video and it came out then? So luckily it was in the exact position I was sitting in when I was out there, so it was easy to find. Took me less than 5 minutes to find. And then I just got out of the shower. You can tell because my hair is still like damp and looking how it looks. And I all of a sudden hear a tick. And if you are someone with body piercings, facial piercings, ear piercings, and you hear that distinctive metallic sound on tile, you know what just happened. Immediately, you turn off the water, you put your foot on the drain, and you try to find that piercing before it rolls down the drain. I'm not ashamed to say that I had my nipples pierced for many, many years, and like that sound haunts me. Just like having like a ball or a piercing piece just fall out and just like dink. Just like, oh my gosh, it is such a distinctive sound. And if you've known the panic, then you know the panic. So I it fell off while I was literally washing my face. So I had soap in my eyes, my hair is wet, and the shower's off, my foot's on the drain, and the moment of oh crap, yeah, exactly. And so my foot's on the drain, and luckily for me, I don't know if a lot of you can see this just because I don't sit that close to the camera, but this is a pretty large flat piece, like large relative to the piercing size, and it's a flat piece with a little screw kind of coming out of the back of it where it screws into my internally threaded um, labrae bar. A labrae bar has a flat circle back and it has a post coming out of it. And so that is hollow, and then it has threads on the inside so that you don't develop any additional scar tissue from putting in that piercing. It's piercers prefer it. But anyways, yeah, see, I don't have a spare bag for this. I have spares for literally everything else on my face now, but I do not have a spare for this. So it definitely is making me think, yeah, I need to get one. Um, you should be proud of yourself, Zach. It is a very difficult challenge um, to stick with the project. So I commend you, and keep trucking. You're gonna be a pro at double crochet. I mean, it sounds like you already are. It looks like you already are, but you're gonna be just like you're gonna like the next stitch you go to do, regardless of whether or not you are supposed to be doing a double. You're just gonna do a double because you're so like trained on that. Like, okay, yarn over and um, but Roberta, I'm gonna switch topics back to what I was talking about before I talked to you about why my lip is a little red and swollen. Um, Roberta, the what you've done so far looks great to me. It looks like exactly how it's supposed to look. How confusing are the instructions so far? Be honest with me, and if you have better words to like how to do things, by all means put that in the editor so that I can see what changes we can make to make it even easier. But I just felt like when I was writing it, I was like, wow, this I feel like I honestly don't know if this is going to be the kind of pattern that people are going to read, because it's pretty brutal. Not bad. I'm taking notes. Okay, great. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you being a pattern tester. Um, I also have a couple people testing it from a group on Facebook called Men Who Crochet. And so they were very, two people from there were interested in it. And I didn't want to have too many pattern testers. But if I see that it needs a lot of changes, it needs a lot of work, then I might add some pattern testers on. You can always add pattern testers. A little bit harder to take them away. So, but yeah, the colors look great. It looks like actually you did pretty similar colors to what I did for my prostate cancer awareness hat. So that's cool to see it, in a different light as well. So I'm hoping I'm hoping the pattern finds you well. um, but yeah, so as I was kind of talking about, I am working on becoming a life coach. Now, you can be a certified life coach or you can be uncertified and still be a life coach. Because basically, all a life coach is someone giving you advice. And maybe they have a specialty or a focus, but yeah. that's the never ending curse. That's why you have more testers, different levels. Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna maybe do like a post tester survey where I kind of gauge where people's level is, how long it took them, that kind of thing, to see how I need to classify the difficulty level of the work and anything else I need to. Man, I gotta pee. Yeah, exactly. Um, I hate when you're counting and you have to get up or something happens and you're like, oh shit. But yeah, so I am currently unlicensed, but I'm looking into licensure and I'm trying to work with clients until I can pay for the classes to become licensed. And I'm doing that at a lower rate so that I can get more clients and actually pay for this. So this is something that I think I would actually be really good at and something that would be really flexible around my disability income requirements and my actual disability, being able to kind of see people on my schedule. So I'm really excited about it. And someone needs to talk, yeah. I used to almost exclusively count in my head. One, I lose count in my head all the time because I swear there's like a toddler in my head screaming 7, 13, 12, like just like random numbers. And then also I want to let people know when I'm counting because they don't always inherently know. And so sometimes I'm just like, someone will be like, blah, 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 blah. I'll be like 23, 23, 23, 23, and just like look at them, keep on repeating the number. So if you or anyone else you know is looking for a life coach, I am looking for clients. Um, and I'd like to think that although I am not a licensed counselor or therapist, I've been in the mental health system for over 15 years. I consider myself a bit of an expert in a lot of different therapy modalities. And while I wouldn't be doing therapy, I would be employing the skills I've learned from therapy into what we would work on. Like, I feel like that's like the best of both worlds, where you get like a more affordable skills booklet on like how to function. Okay, cool. Well, you're welcome to stay and chat. We'd love to have you. Um, so, yes, I am doing that. I have been kind of battling, like, whether or not, like I said earlier, whether or not I am, like, in a manic episode because I have had very, like, expansive thoughts and, like, kind of grandiose, like, I don't know if grandiosity is, like, quite there yet, but, like, it's, like, I feel like, how do I say this without sounding absolutely bonkers? But I feel like a gift, like I have a gift and I can help people with that gift. And I don't know if that's because so many people have like told me that my advice has been really helpful to them, or if I am manic off my ass and just think I'm the shit for some reason. Thank you. Wanted to talk about it. I was in the trunk of an elephant. It needs to be right. Yeah, I would be like, I don't crochet. I don't. I'd be like, this isn't crochet. And when they asked what it was, I would just roll up the window. Like, in treatment, people, like, first of all, I gave a lot of people, like, solicited advice. Like, I would always be like, they would talk to me about their problems, and I'd be like, we'd be outside a group, and I'd be like, hey, like, I have my input. Do you want it, or do you just want to vent? It's cool if you just want to vent. I'm here if you just want to vent. But, like, I have my 2 cents if you want it. And I'd give people my 2 cents. We'd have a good conversation. It was lovely. It was great. And so, like, people really associated me with being, like, a really nice person, which is not necessarily me. But like when I like talking to people, I like talking to people. And when I don't like talking to people, I really, really don't like talking to people. So I was in treatment. Recall my no eyebrow manic phase. I had no eyebrows and I would draw them in crazy ways all the time. And I got stuff them. And so this guy who was in I forgot the stuff, man. um so when so like the residential treatment facility that I was in the mental health unit. And what should I do with it? How long has it been out? That is an important question. Typically, gravy stays good. It kind of tends to congeal quickly, anyways. It tends to stay okay if you think about Thanksgiving. If you have gravy, that shit's out all day, and people put it in the fridge, reheat it. It's just fine, just as long as you're kind of conscious of, you know, what, um, how long it's been. Use your judgment, you know. Uh, Put it in the fridge is fine. Yeah, see, yeah, it's fine. Um, yeah, I've eaten stuff that's been out. um, but so like we were separated from like the rehab and addiction folks, and then further detached from the detox folks. So like substance detox. So like we would have like smoke breaks. Every like hour or other hour or something like that. And so we went on a smoke break, and they called it a fresh air break, so anyone could go out even if they weren't a smoker. And so we're coming back in, and we have like uh, what are they called? Like a tech with us. Like we can't be unsupervised. Like that's not allowed in the center. Like you can't have a bunch of people or really anyone unsupervised. Um, so we were coming back inside. We went through the cafeteria. This guy was going out through the cafeteria to go outside to smoke a cigarette. He was with a tech from his unit. And he turns to me, and that day I had orange eyebrows. My hair was bright yellow. A lot less grown out than this, for sure. And he was like, "Oh, I like the eyebrows." And I was like, "Thanks." And he's like, it just works." And I was like, "Right." And I just kept walking. And like everyone who was with me who really knows me was like cracking up. They're like, "You have so much compassion, empathy, patience with people that you like, but with people you don't know or people you don't like, you just that." I'm like, yeah, that's kind of me. So tell me some of your embarrassing stories about you making friends in the wild. Like, I just was like, I don't, like, what do you want me to say? Like, when you have bright hair, when you do crazy things with your eyebrows or makeup, when you have a lot of piercings, when you dress kind of alternatively, people think that they have to tell you that you look different. Like, I don't understand it really, but like, people will come up to me and be like, "You have yellow hair." And I'm like, "Yes." Question mark? Like, what do you want from me? um, So, like, this was one of those cases of someone just telling me what was going on with my face and hair at the same time. And I was like, yeah, I did it. I know. Like, it's like, when you have like food stuck in your teeth and you want people to tell you, it's like those people would never tell you that you have food stuck in your teeth, but they will tell you that you did to yourself willingly. Fuckers. But hey, if I minded it that much, I just wouldn't do it. But my natural hair color, um, is clearly not bright yellow. I don't feel like I need to say that with this much root growth, but even when it looked like it was freshly coming out of my scalp. My hair is not bright yellow, so I didn't need that idiot telling me. And also, my eyebrows are orange, and my hair was yellow. Like they weren't even in the same color. Like if I had like yellow eyebrows and yellow hair, like being like, hey, they match. Like that would be like also yes a fact, but like it just was so dumb. It just was like, man, I just really wish you would go away. And luckily we did go the opposite way. So yeah, I have a lot of I have a lot of really amazing stories about meeting people under those types of circumstances. Um, so before I met Mel and when we started dating, I was an avid comic book reader. I don't still have a lot of my comic books. I just have had zero motivation to like pick up a comic book in so long. I started rereading Watchmen maybe like a year back, but like I think I only got like halfway through. And not that I don't like Watchmen, I love it. I love the grade because it was out too long. It was 2 days old. Yeah, that's not gonna hurt anything. Um, so, um, so I, people in the wild, it's too dangerous. Yes, I understand. So I used to work with Mel. We used to both work at the European Wax Center. So I was a waxer. So I did body waxing on people. And Mel worked up front. She was front desk associate or whatever they're called. And it's been so long, I just don't remember. So um, we started at a similar time. I think I'd been there about 2 months before her, 1 or 2 months before her. And we each had our own individual wax rooms for the day that we were working. And and so when we weren't in our wax rooms, there was like a back room that it had a table in it and a couple of chairs, and some people would choose to take like their breaks and their time between clients like in there and chill and hang out. Some people would be more social, whatever. On the wait list for therapy, finally like, I want to talk to her about your socially anxiety and grieving. Yeah, I think that's super important to do. Like I said, I am trying to be a life coach, which is different from a therapist. I will never ever say that therapists are not important. But if you need some additional help in the meantime, I'm doing super low rates just so I can kind of build up some money um, to to actually pay for credentialing. So if you wanted to do that, um, you could reach out to me and that'd be cool. If you don't want to do that, no pressure. I will never pressure anyone into doing anything they don't want. But yes, I just wanted to say that to you, Zach. I do know that you have um, some of those issues, and if you wanted to talk to someone about that in kind of more professional capacity, but while you wait for a therapist, like I could be there to help out with that in a more formal, like we meet weekly, bi-weekly, whatever you want. But anyways, I want to get back on subject because I don't want to like over pitch myself because like I don't think that's like fair to you all. Um, I just wanted to let you know that that is available if you want, and it can be completely separate from everything that is on YouTube, everything that is on social media. We get to business and we're focused on you. Um, so anyways, a lot of you have not really met Mel. Mel doesn't like being on camera, and that's something that I'm totally okay with. That's everyone should have the choice in whether or not they are on camera or not. And but Mel is a talker. Mel loves to talk. She loves to get to know people. She loves finding out all kinds of things about people. She's really interested in the study of people. And I, especially at that time, was a little bit more of a loner. And So I was in the back reading Watchmen, and I don't know if you know the story of Watchmen. It was made into a movie. It's also a graphic novel, um, but it is pretty graphic. And I had just finished reading up this really, really gruesome part of the story. If you have read the book or know the movie, it's about when Rorschach becomes Rorschach, like the event that like catalysts his brain into being like full-time math vigilante. So I'll leave it at that. Very gruesome. Um, so Mel opens the door and she's like, "Hi, yeah, we haven't really met yet. Like, hey, what's up?" And so I have my book. I have my book, and I'm just like, and she's like, "Oh, you're reading Watchmen? My brother read Watchmen. He really liked it. Do you like the story?" And I'm just like, "Mm-hmm." And so she continues to try to talk to me for like maybe 10, 15 minutes. And I am sitting there with a book like in front of my face, just not emoting at all. And she's like, "Okay, well, I'll let you get back to reading." And she closes the door, and I go back to reading. I don't even think twice about it. And that's how I met the love of my life. And literally for the first month or two, I could not remember her name. It is so bad. I'm not great at names, but I've never been this bad. I don't know what was wrong with my brain. I called her Melody. I called her Melissa. Sometimes I was like, she'll check you out. Like, I couldn't even like pretend to like come up with a name for like 2 months. Finally, we started talking. We became really good friends. We were really good friends for a year before we ever started dating, um, which is always a good thing when you're um, trying to become romantically involved with someone. Being their friend first, getting to know them. You'll never know someone better than when you're friends with them. So I think that is really, what helped our relationship along so much. But anyways, that's how I met Mel. And was I idiot? Yeah, but Zach, I don't talk about bodily functions a lot on here, but on your subject, I don't know what was happening in my lower intestines, colon area the other day, but literally, like, I could have murdered with what was happening. So, open a window if you need to, save lives, even if it's just your own. So, I'm going to, before I get too far, I don't want to shoot past my target, which I am actually really close to. So, I need to make sure that I'm um, counting rows properly. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay. Let me see where we are right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. We're getting close. 14. Nope, that's not right. Don't count now. So yeah, I'm not always the friendliest person when people first meet me, but it's not so much that I don't like people. It's just that when I am a natural introvert. Like, I do like coming on here, talking to you all, hanging out. It feels pretty intimate just because of how small my channel is. But I just like I don't get energy from like, I'm the kind of person who, after I socialize and do all that stuff, I need to retreat back and recover. Like, I need to recover. I'm a natural introvert, and Mel is a natural extrovert, and she, uh, she definitely threw me off my scent in what my type was, which I think was great. It helped me um, get out of my own way in a lot of ways, to which I am eternally thankful to her for. Um, but yeah, so yeah, finding people who aren't like you is the world's greatest gift because it gives you the opportunity to learn, to grow, um, and if I can be that person for someone, that would be cool. She is good for me. I've made a lot of mistakes along the way. I won't beat around that bush, but um, we're constantly working on being a better partner to the other person, and I think that constant work is what we've got to do in our own relationship. So I really wish that I could use my furls on this. If you were on with me earlier, you heard me bitch and moan about how I can't use my furls streamline on this. And the reason why is because with the knit stitch, you're actually going into the post of the single crochet rather than the opening for the stitch itself. And so when you go in to the post, because of the shape of the neck and head of the hook, uh, a furl streamline has a bit of a point to it. It's not sharp, but it definitely does have a point. So if you have yarn that is prone to splitting, this will split it right away. So then you go in, you yarn over, you pull through, and then this is kind of sharp, this hook head, and so you will grab even more of this PCS yarn, and it is just makes you work 3 times as hard to get the same, if not worse, results. So I'm, you know, trying to spare my wrist as much as I can, but so I don't spend too long on these mittens at a time. So yeah, we will see how it works. Now that I'm kind of a pro at this stitch, I'm not getting caught up as much. Um, I am finding that the stitch is quite a bit easier than it was the first mitten time around. But I'm super happy. I can't wait to see how these turn out. Um, the cool thing about this mitten pattern is if you just make the mitten, it can be worn on either hand, which I like because um, sometimes I forget which hand I measured it for. So I could, in theory, wear my mittens like this if I truly desired to, but it works just as well on the other. And see, it fits my hand perfectly. It looks a little weird because it's not super rounded up here, but like I said, I didn't want all that space there around my fingers. I want to be able to do stuff with it. So, although I don't know if I've ever been a mitten person, but I was like, better. I pulled mittens for my thing. So, yeah, relationships take work, and you got to be willing to to not only put in the work, but you got to be willing to be wrong. I think that that's a big thing. It's so easy to get caught up in being right and it's my way or the highway, but that shit does not fly in a good relationship. You gotta compromise, you gotta learn the other person, you gotta speak their love languages, because love languages aren't for just for you figuring out how you best accept love. It's for figuring out how do I communicate love to this other person. So that's what I really like about love languages, and learning that has given me a lot of insight as to what was bothering Mel when she couldn't necessarily vocalize why why she was upset with certain things. So also, I'm really interested in attachment style. I know that's been a conversation that a lot of people have been having in like therapy settings and things like that recently. And I think it's really interesting because it's not something that I ever would have thought about. That's not necessarily true. You can be if you want to be, Zach, but I mean, I have a lot of things to say about relationships. Some of them will help you now, some of them will not. But when it comes down to it, um, I truly believe that that right relationship for you will come along when you're not looking for it, when you're not ready for it, when you're not anticipating it, and it will be with the person who you're not expecting. And that's what I think happens more times than not. But yeah, exactly. And the thing is, two people can be right about their perception of an event. That doesn't necessarily mean you're wrong. It just perception shapes our reality. So whether or not we meant something when we said this, is how it's perceived, and that will shape our reality and how we move through relationships. So if you like me, I'll be here all week. Just kidding, I'll probably be here forever. Um, and if you want some life advice, you can pay me for that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so this goes on this hand, which means this will go on my other hand. I always forget to take my engagement ring off. It catches the yarn. So, well, this one is a little bit tighter, but whatever. Things don't have to be perfect. Which makes me even more glad that I'm not doing the embroidery that I was planning on. So I have one more row until I reach where I want to. I want this to come up to the bottom thumb knuckle, see where you're having all of this movement right here? At the bottom, that's where you want your mitten to come up to. So no matter how long you decide to make this, or if you're ribbing, that's where you want it to come up to. So we're gonna do one more full row, and then we're going to make our thumb hole. I just love crystal light. Hello, we have some new folks in. Feel free to say hello. If you want to come up and chat, you can. I will drop the link for you. But yeah, we're just talking about all kinds of stuff. How some of us may not be the warmest people when you actually, well, actually, I won't say that because the right girl will come along. Exactly. You just like, I think that there's so many times that we try to plan ahead because it makes us feel more in control of fate and life than we truly have. Really, we don't have a ton of control in a lot of things. So, staying open minded, staying open, staying willing, I think are the biggest things that you can do in life rather than saying, you know what, by the age of blah, 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 I'm going to be married and have 3 kids, all named Jimmy, John, and Jeffrey, and, you know, um, or whatever. Like, I think all of that's just total bullshit. I don't think that serves anyone. I mean, I guess if it brings you a little bit of peace, don't enforce it. Yeah, absolutely. Great advice, Roberta. We should all be life coaches. um, yeah. So, yeah. But dealing with your social anxiety, going out, meeting people, that is a great way to, you know, make these types of things happen. Because it's really hard to meet people when you don't go outside. And don't I know it because my agoraphobia has been kicking my ass the past couple of years. So, okay, so I'm coming to the end of my 15th round. Getting advice, just not taking it. Me too. I always say do as I say, not as I do. There's a reason I pay my therapist so much. So I've seen a bunch of people doing fingerless mitts for the season, and I think that's a really, really great beginner project. So, Zach, if you want to just, try a new stitch or do something a little bit different, something that's fairly quick, fingerless mitts are a great way to do it. Because pretty much you can do any stitch you want, any stitch whatsoever, pretty much. And then you just make a rectangle, one that will fold in half and be the width of your hand, this part of your hand. And then you sew it up, seam it up the side, leave a thumb hole, seam up the bottom, and boom, 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 you have a fingerless mitt, just like that. And you're in Canada, so you're probably going to need some cold weather gear before this season is done. But do whatever you want. If it's easier just to stick to one project, do that. Okay, so now I am at the thumb hole because I'm doing this a little bit differently than I did my other mitten because of how I wanted to hide the seam. Now, when I started this pattern, I was following someone who was doing non uh, continuous rounds. So when you do that, you have a seam. You can't really see it because it's all black and I don't have the best lighting. But there's a seam that goes, and it's never straight, which is super fucking annoying. But you have a seam that goes kind of like this. So I wanted to hide that seam, especially because I was going to be doing embroidery on top. So that's why I picked this particular hand to be on this side. So I'm going to be doing it just a little bit different. So you want to figure out how long you want your thumb space to be. You want to make sure you have adequate movement with it because it's going to get a little bit smaller once you start doing all those stitches up your thumb. She recommended 5 um, chains for hers, and that's actually what I used on mine. But if your hands are a little bit bigger, she said you could use 7 or 9 stitches. I don't think it needs to be odd. I just think those were suggestions she had to give. So I'm going to do the same number of stitches on mine. So I already chained 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you're going to skip that many stitches on your mitten, and boom, thumb hole. Now, before you seal the deal and complete your round, go in, make sure that feels comfy on your thumb. Now, I did 5 on the other side, but it feels a little tight on this. And the only thing that it's going to change is the size of my thumb. It's not going to change anything over here. So changing this size won't be a big deal. So I'm going to take it off and I'm going to move up to 7. It is much tighter. These little slippy stitchy. Much better. So see, it fits me just like that, and that is 7 chains. So we will take this off. Wow, it's weird how you can do like the exact same number of stitches and all of a sudden it's like not the same. Which is why, again, I will not be selling these. And then I'm just going to go right back into the knit stitch. Now for this row, let's see. So from the base of the thumb, right, let's see, where are you? The base of the thumb is right here. You can see actually I have a stitch marker for a reason. So from this stitch marker to this stitch marker, we have no changes, no increases or decreases. It's just a straight stitch. Or it's just the same number of stitches round and round and round and round. Although in this, with the top, I did go with a continuous round because I honestly was just tired of having a freaking seam. I just don't like dealing with that. If you are going to be doing the knit stitch, you do want to make sure that your tension is fairly loose. It doesn't need to be super loose, but if you are a tight or even medium tension crocheter, you probably want to loosen up just a bit so that you can get your hook in and out pretty easily. That's probably another problem I was having in my first mitten, was that I was doing it still just a bit too tight. Okay, so now that I'm back around at the thumb hole, because I have chains here, I have to do a single crochet to be able to then do knit stitches on top of it. You don't have to necessarily have a single crochet to start your knit stitch. However, you need to have a stitch with a post because you go into the post. So most people will do a single crochet, and that's what I'm doing because I'm doing single crochet on everything else. I think it's super easy to get into negative self-talk, like these things will never happen, I'll never meet the right person, or blah blah blah. I think those are really easy conversations to like get into, because it's so much easier to shut ourselves down and set ourselves up for disappointment than to be open and willing and nervous about the future, right? So I totally understand. I've had many moments in my life where I just knew I was going to be alone forever, and I was wrong, you know? And I'm thankful that I was wrong, you know? A lot of people like being right. I actually kind of like being wrong because my mind is a pretty negative place, all things considered. Back to the, I would have gone back to the bump. Touching the thumb stitches would be easier. Back to the bump. What bump? I'm a little confused. Yeah, let me know what you mean by that, and I will on the chains. Um, the bump on the chains. Uh, so would you? Yeah, I'm still not quite sure if you mean that you would like skip over the chain space. Yeah, I'm not quite sure, but I am following this pattern kind of loosely. So let me see if I can find the pattern I used. And I had to make a lot of adjustments because this person used a different hook size and different yarn size than I did. So my daily is so hot. Okay, let's see. It's crazy. Oh. Where is the mittens? Where are the mittens? Where is the mittens? Oh, if you didn't see, Hook That Yarn, Crystal posted a video where she got the hat that I made, and it looks really great on her. It's hilarious because it's super slouchy on her, and she has this like big, beautiful curly hair, but I guess a smaller head. I thought I had a pretty small head, but it looks really slouchy on her. So I'm like, do I have a huge head? Which would actually make a lot of sense why a lot of bag a day patterns don't fit me right. Okay. Uh, let me just like stitch, crochet, mittens. Here you are. So I'm gonna link the video that inspired this. I'm gonna try to pause it before. Shut up. Um, she did it with a different hook size, a different yarn size, and she did color changes. She did a color blocking pattern with hers, but you can follow along with her type of. Um, so, look that yarn. Let me see. Okay, let me find her channel name. Yeah, I realized I was subscribed to her channel, but I didn't get notifications for it. So I'm really glad that I, yeah, hooked that yarn. Hey, Lydia. I am making mittens, bat mittens. So I'm starting off with the knit stitch. I'm still working on this. I think you were here when I was working on them last. I just want to get them done so I can work on like the rest of my blank but make it Halloween challenge. I did pull the next stuff. Yeah, I totally understand, Roberta. I'm so bad about keeping up with people on the YouTube streets, even people that like I see what I consider the most. Like I see like Lydia and I see Zach. I see them the most and I barely ever go. I feel like an asshole. But I'm trying. So Crystal at Hook That Yarn did a video. I love watching her crochet. I don't know what it is, but people who have the pen grip, I just love watching them crochet. It makes it just look so much cooler. I don't know how else to word it. Um, because I am a knife grip guy all day long. So now that I'm back to the space with my thumb hole, because I had those single crochets along, oh, you were saying with the chain you would go through the bump. Yeah, I still think you don't quite get that V shape, and it kind of, because chains aren't always even, like your stitches are more likely to be even than your chains. I get what you're saying now. Um, but, uh, but yeah, sorry it took me forever and a day to understand that. Um, But yeah, but the reason why she did this is because how you attach the thumb is you actually start at the one of the corners and you work your way over the chain. So you do 2 knit stitches in opposite directions out of that chain. Get back to the penguin. I need to write the penguin pattern, and I'm itching to make a Grinch. Ooh! I am gonna try to make a Santa Claus on my AliExpress, and you might have seen my post about selling my AliExpress, which is still for sale if anybody wants it. It's in great condition. It works just fine. I'm not good at knitting machine stuff. Sorry, I just don't have that skill set. But I'm gonna try, I think, to make a doll on it and see if it works. I have this idea pretty clearly in my mind, but usually when I have that, things don't really tend to work out how I plan. So we'll just give our hopes and prayers to, to me on that journey. I'll probably do it on a live just so that I can laugh with you all when things inevitably blow up in my face. And I go, man, I should just made a fucking amigurumi. Yeah, check your bell settings. Absolutely. Yeah, if you're not getting notifications when I go live, that's the number one way to catch me because I am very unpredictable about when I go live. When I'm deciding if I'm going to go live, I go, do I have the motivation to go live? Is Mel free? Does Mel want to hang out? Do I want to hang out with Mel? Do I have something I need to be working on? And what the fuck am I going to film? And all those things go through my mind before. I did not. Had to leave before because I had like a therapy group thing to go to. So I had to dip out early. Topsy Turvy doll. Oh, I feel like I need to see that. If you see a picture of it somewhere or you see a video, pop that in Army of Weirdos because I would love to see that. I've seen a lot of people do like dolls and stuff like that. So I think it can be done. But some people, there's And I wonder if it's like they're not good at like crochet, so like knitting on a machine makes sense to them. Knitting on the machine makes no sense to me. I wish it made more sense. I tried. I tried so hard to make these mittens on the knitting machine because I thought that that's what was going to be like my embroidery um, godsend. And then I was like, okay, I guess I'm doing the knit stitch, which I always forget how much I dislike until I'm doing it. And then I'm like, fuck this stitch, it takes forever. But it is a really warm stitch. So if you are in a place where it gets cold, or let's say you just have really cold extremities, like if you have just any reason for cold extremities, um, this is great. And you can make them to custom fit your hands, which is really cool. Um, going to make a gnome, but it's going to be a bad Grinch. Oh, I can't wait to see. Yeah, please share all of that with me. You all give me so much inspiration. Ooh, I didn't even think about doing the Grinch. But what would the Grinch have to do with the moon? What if the. Ooh, hoo, hoo, hoo. Oh, oh, oh. I got some ideas now. That gave me an idea, Lydia. I might not do a Santa doll. I might do a Grinch doll because the Christmas prompt or the holiday prompt was red and green, and I was gonna do mistletoe for the green, but I like doing the Grinch even better, and I can have some fun with brushing out the Grinch's hair to make it fluffier and frizzier and rattier. Oh my gosh, Lydia, you gave me such a good idea, I think. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see what you do now. Yeah, I think being a YouTuber is about just kind of meeting yourself where you're at and just like some weeks you're gonna go live once a week, some weeks you're gonna go more frequently, some weeks you're gonna do less frequently. A Grinch in a Santa outfit would be perfect for that, right? I think so. Like when he goes to steal all the presents. Oh man, I didn't go properly through the post, so I just fucked it up. Hmm. Oh god, fuck you, Premiere. I I just don't think I'm a Premiere guy. I've used a couple different types of Premiere yarn, and I always have yarn barf. I can never find the end. Their basics yarn I just don't love, and I feel like I should love it. Now I need to make Max. Oh my gosh, oh, so cute. You know what would be really cute if you wanted to do a Nightmare Before Christmas and the Grinch crossover, like where they lived in the same world? You could do a Zero and you could do a Max, and that would be so stinking cute. Oh, I can't even take it. Or you could just do a Max, because Max is awesome. Need more brown. Yeah. I just I feel like I never have enough like brown yarn. Um, I always want to have more, but I feel like it's just it's not something that's ever super pressing. Um, the most recent brown yarn that I got was, which reminds me, I need to make a pattern. Was this KNC, so the Knit and Crochet brand. This is their cotton. It's their essential cotton. It is 100% cotton. It says type. I don't really know what that means. um, and it's 180 yards, 3.5 ounces, and it's a 4-weight yarn. It says it's 3-weight light, but I would have to disagree. I believe this is a 4-weight. Let me show you. That looks like 4-weight to me, right? I mean, here's a 4-weight next to it. It's looks a little bigger because it's black, but I mean, I guess like this is like a slightly thicker 4-weight, so like I'm gonna use it as a 4-weight and use my 3.25 hook on it to make it packer. I've been pretty disappointed with the realm and range of browns when it comes to 100% cotton because like 4-weight 100% cotton, because I want to make packers that meet all different skin tones, because I think it's important that if you want a skin tone packer that your skin tone is available. And there has been such a huge, it would be cool if one line carried a bunch of different shades of brown, but that's just not really the case. So my previous skin tones that I had, I'll show you. So this is cream. This is Lily Sugar and Cream. So this is cream. It's super pale, super, super pale. It's like a yellow version of me. And then the next one they have is called Ute. Looks tanner, but it's still really white. And then the next one they have is warm brown. Like, there's a huge gap in skin tones right there. And it's super annoying because I want to be able to buy all my yarn on the same at the same place. I'd love to buy it at Joann or Michael's because those are readily accessible to me. I don't have to order online. Um, this one does fill a little bit of that gap. It's very, very soft, but it's super expensive. I think it's like $6 a ball, and it never goes on sale. So I'm just hoping to provide a service for people who, you know, have a deeper complexion, but it's really hard because I've been really struggling to find like browns that are more readily available, and it'd just be cool if I could buy everything in the same place so that it would be easier and be extra nice if I could go in store. But it just is what it is. I've thought about dyeing my own cotton, but I'm using like tea. But I just like I don't know if tea would like last like through multiple washes and stuff like that. I feel like it wouldn't. So I'd have to use a brown dye and then have to work at um, different amounts. And I don't know if I have that like kind of skill. So we're just working with what we got. And honestly, if I dyed my own yarn, it would probably come out to be even more expensive. And I'm just trying to make it as affordable of an option as possible, so that I can pass on those low prices to my customers, because I want my packers to be affordable. And I'm already not turning like a huge profit by any means on them. So yeah, this is Premier Basics in black, and then I'm also, for the cuff and for the batwing, I'm using Mainstay, which is at Walmart, and this is just the red color, the solid red. Um, I like Mainstay acrylic pretty okay. It's a pretty decent acrylic. I think I like it more than the Basics, if I'm being honest. So, um, ugh, my hands are starting to cramp up. It is 2 in the morning here. So I think I should at least take my medicine and start to wind down. Um, but thank you, Lydia, for giving me the idea, even though you didn't mean to, of doing the Grinch. That makes me super happy because I have a pretty distinctive idea of how I want to do it. So I'm looking at my, like, if you're wondering why I keep on looking over here, it's because my AliExpress is right here. And yeah, I know you usually turn in pretty early, but you've been staying up a little bit later lately. I think also the time change really fucks up people's schedules a lot because it gets dark like here, it gets dark at like it's pitch black by 6 p.m. And you're like, wait, where's the day? What happened to the day? If you're anything like me, at least. But I'm also a late riser. I like to sleep in. So I'm gonna turn you all off for the evening. Let you get some sleep. Let my hands uncramp. Ugh. And we'll get back. Oh my gosh, this matches my wallet like perfectly. I have a black one. I felt like it looked like a Sith Lord wallet, but it also is like a lot thinner. So when it goes in my back pocket, it doesn't give me immediate scoliosis. Um, I just think we need to normalize men using wallets in their front pockets. I don't know why we don't do it. I don't know why. But anywho, I hope you have a great evening. And thank you all for hanging out with me. Uh, and if you're looking for a life coach, just message me and we'll work something out. I love you very much, and I'll talk to you all later. Bye.